Using Leica microscopes that have a camera integrated into them. When you first get your Leica microscope, the first thing you want to do is clean the lenses with an alcohol pad. If you have glasses, you're going to want to flatten these out like this. If you don't have glasses, you want to have that eye cup. And I have glasses, so I'm going to want to put this down. So you can rub the lenses here. These are the eyepiece lenses. And then you want to clean this little piece of glass here, and then clean the place where the light comes through. And then if you want to use a lens cloth to kind of dry it. And that's just going to give you a really nice image. Okay. When you're picking up the microscope, there's this really awesome red handle. So you want to put one hand on the red handle and one hand on the bottom. There's like a little place for you to put your hand here. So you have a really firm grip. These are really expensive microscopes. It would make me very sad if you dropped it. Okay, and so then there's a cord stowed here, which of course you want to put back when you're done. And you want to plug that cord into power. And then the camera plugs in with this USB cord. So you want to plug in that there, and then the USB goes here. So that gives the camera power. Okay. The power to the microscope is, you might want to come closer, is this green on-off switch on the side. And you can tell if it's on because you'll see a light coming out here. Okay, and then you want to turn on the camera, and there's a button, sorry, on the side. There's a red button here for the camera to give the power to the camera. So if you have this plugged in, you'll see a red light at first, and that's just the camera warming up. And it'll go to green when the camera is warmed up. So the next thing you want to do is connect your camera to your device. So if you have the Leica AirLab app, there's actually what's really awesome about this camera. There's a whole bunch of different ways to connect. It has its own Wi-Fi signal, so that's what we're going to use. So once this green light comes on, you push Wi-Fi, and now it'll be sending its own Wi-Fi signal that you're going to connect with on your iPad. If for some reason you don't have an iPad or you can't get it to connect or whatever, you can have it save on the SD card. And then I have an SD card reader that you can, if you don't have one, or maybe you have a slot in your computer and you can just get the pictures off the SD card. So that's kind of like a backup. You can also hook it up to a monitor, which your teacher might have one of them hooked up to a monitor. Okay, so what you want to do on your iPad is you want to go to Settings. This isn't my iPad, so I don't know where it is. And you want to change your Wi-Fi. You want to get off the school's Wi-Fi. And you want to get onto the microscope's Wi-Fi. So on the front of the microscope, it'll give you a number. This one is 3947. I can see that that's up. If you have a whole bunch of people trying to connect at the same time, you're going to see a whole bunch of them. So you want to make sure you're connecting to the microscope you have. The password is on the front as well. It's Leica Micro. That's the same password for all of the scopes. So once you're connected to the Wi-Fi, you can go back to your Leica app and open that. You want to go to the camera part here. I don't know why it's doing this stupid demo camera right this second. The demo camera, I don't actually have no idea what the purpose of that thing is. It just shows like this is the picture that you can look at. What you want is the one that actually has your microscope number on, so you want to choose that, and now you're live. So now the camera is talking to your iPad, but we don't have anything to look at yet. So if you come over here, I can probably show you better how to do the actual image. So you want to always start with the smallest lens first. Always start with the smallest lens first. we're going to be looking at some cells that are either cancerous or not. You want to make sure that your slide is face up, so if you have a cover slip, make sure that the cover slip is on the top, or if it's a prepared slide, you can read the words on the side of the prepared slide. You just slide this out, slide your slide in, and that grabs onto the slide. These two knobs here adjust your moving of the slide back and forth and up and down. So you want to move it so that whatever you're looking at is actually under where the light is coming through. I prefer it if you use the eyepieces rather than try to use your iPad as the viewing device. It's really easy to adjust the eyepieces to your eyes depending upon how far apart your eyes are, and that's really the most important part, that you get that comfortable, because if you don't get that comfortable, it's going to be really weird. You're going to see your eyelashes and you're not going to see things clearly. So you just pull it out so that it's nice and easy to see, and then you want to turn the large knob away from you until you see something that if you move the slide around, it also moves. So like if you see something and you move the slide around and it doesn't move, you're not actually looking at the slide, you're looking at your eyelashes or something bizarre. Okay. So down here is the condenser, and we want to change that so that the magnification that you have matches the line here. So we have a 4x. You can see there's a 4 on this. So you want to put this on 4, and you can see it on your iPad. You have what you're looking at. If you see a blank screen, it's probably because there's too much light. See, like if I pour too much light in there, it just goes blank. So the condenser is actually nice. It's set to what it should be, but you can always adjust it a little bit to make it a little better if you want. So there's two ways to adjust the light. One is the first way you should do the condenser. It's just like a aperture on a camera. It just like opens and closes the amount of light that's coming through. But you can also dial over here, and this just changes the amount, like the brightness of the light bulb. So you can adjust that if you want to make it a little darker. Do you see how that made it a little better? So you can see a little more detail. So kind of play with that, because once you get it like nice on the small lens, then the other lenses are super easy. Because if you just go to the next bigger lens, you see how it's almost already completely in focus? You don't have to change a lot. So you go again through the eyepiece and just make a small adjustment. So you're going to use the small, do you see how there's a large focus? That's the coarse focus, and the smaller one is the smaller knob here. I'm just going to make that adjustment. If it's too dark on your image, right, you're going to change the condenser, because now we're on 10x, right? And you want to just make sure that it's in focus. And then if that's not nice enough, right, you can change the lighting with the dial, right? You can kind of play with that. Okay, so now you can see that there's cells. You can see that there's a nucleus in the cells. I can already tell you these are lung fibroblasts that are not cancerous because they're long and tapered. So if I was a pathologist, I'd already be happy about this person's cells. Okay, so then we're going to go one more high up here. And you can see it's not quite in focus, so we're going to change the small knob just a bit. And then it's a little too dark, so we're going to change the condenser, because now we're on 40x. And then just again, focus. And if you don't quite like the lighting, you can adjust with this. Do not play with these buttons to adjust the lighting. That's going to screw up the communication between the, I don't know why the heck it's there, but these buttons will change the, like, how dark your picture is. But then it doesn't match with the camera, so I wouldn't use these adjustments to do brightness.
But you can take a picture now.
Yeah, so you can take a picture if you want, or a video. Of course, this is not moving, so you can just hit that. If you've calibrated your microscope, which I doubt you will be, you can put what power you're on, and then it'll know how big everything is. Wait, sorry. So you can just say no calibration if you don't want to calibrate it. So it's going to capture the image. It's going to go in your Leica gallery, and then you can send those pictures to your friends, to your email, to wherever you want.
Where's the Leica gallery?
The Leica gallery will be here, so you can see the images there. So now this is your actual image. You can share that however you want. Yeah, so you just get that,
Oh,
you know,
wow.
like go to wherever you
Okay.
want to send it, right? And so then go back to camera. So that's your picture taking thing,
Mhm.
and then your video, you just switch that over to video. There is one more lens. This is your 1000x lens. You probably won't need to use that. The thing we use this for is chromosomes and bacteria. But if you do use that, you have to put a drop of oil right where the light is coming through in order for this lens to work. So if you do need that, then you basically need other instructions. But you'd put a drop of this special oil on there, and then you slide this lens in. It won't focus without the oil. And then you have to make sure you clean the oil off. And then you can't really go back to these lenses once you have the oil there. So that's like a commitment, this lens. So you basically aren't going to be using, it says right on it, oil. So just,
Okay.
you won't need to use that lens. So if you want to see what the other kinds of cells are, I have them on the same slide. So once it's on the same slide, we don't even have to worry about focusing it because it'll be in focus already. I mean, essentially, I have to adjust it a little bit. But these are the cancerous cells. You can see they're not as tapered, they're more spherical. Some of them are really screwed up. They have like 2 nuclei and creepy ass things. Like this one has 3 nuclei, it's bad. So these are the same cells that are dividing too quickly.
Okay, and then do you want to show how to turn it off?
Yeah,
Or
so,
what to do at the end?
let's say you're completely done. You put it back on the smallest lens. You take out your slide. You turn it off. Go ahead and roll up your power cord, but you take this one out too. This one we're going to store separate. And then roll up this power cord nicely. Make Sweeney happy. And then remember, when you're carrying it, you use this and this, so you lift up and put it on the cart or wherever it needs to go.
Perfect.
Good.